Hello, my name's Joey, and I'm really excited about today's video because this is the kind of video I've been wanting to make for a while. So if you're familiar with my channel, you might have seen some of my customs being showcased in like a more of a sizzle reel. But today I want to kind of break down one of my customs and kind of chat about it. Now I'm really new to making custom action figures, so feel free to tell me what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad, what I could do better, all that kind of stuff. I'm very much open to it, and I'm excited to show you what I've done so far. So stick around as we break it down and get a real special look at the finished product at the end of the video. Today we're gonna look at my custom 112 Mezco Punisher that I made on my live stream a few weeks ago. So what was I going for with this custom? Well, I really love the classic white boots, white gloves, kind of superhero-y style, old school Jim Lee style Punisher. I love that look, but I also really like the upgraded military type look of the Netflix show. So maybe I could make something that was kind of a blend of both worlds and make the ultimate custom Punisher. For me, at least. This is something I wanted to make for a while, and I went to my local shop recently, and there it was, a Mezco Netflix Punisher on the shelf. Somebody traded it in. Lucky me, right? Well, not quite. It was a little expensive, and I had to like talk the guy down a little bit. I actually traded in a few things in order to get it. No big deal. Got it. I was really excited, but when I got home, I opened it up, and there was the trench coat was in there, but it was not the original trench coat. Somebody replaced it with a really crappy one. It looked like one maybe that would go on like a wrestling figure or something like that. No wire, no nothing. So I was really disappointed by that, but that wasn't going to deter me from making something that I really wanted to make. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I can put a wire in it. It won't be so bad. Now, again, the coat didn't have a wire. So what I ended up doing is I popped the stitch on the coat, and it had a little room for a wire to feed through there. And it actually turned out pretty well. So then I had a wire on the coat, and boom, wired coat. It's not the best quality, but that was what was in the box for me. To top all that off, while I was there, I grabbed a wrestling figure. It was a random like $2 bin Sami Zayn figure that the shop owner actually just gave me for free. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I saw a short recently where somebody took wrestling figure boots and they put them on their Mezco figures, and they looked amazing. Like the pegs kind of fit if you do it right and stuff like that. And it kind of makes your Mezcos a little bit taller, because sometimes Mezcos, in my opinion, they can look a little bit stubby in the way that they're designed. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes I like my characters to look a little bit taller. So that's what I was going for here. So I grabbed a couple of wrestling figures there, and I tried to match them up, and lo and behold, Sami Zayn matched up perfectly for this Punisher figure. I'm really glad that I found that little hack for Mezco figures. Then it was time to grab the hairdryer, pop off the boots. I broke the peg on one of the legs. There we go. Oops, I broke the peg, which actually caused problems later, but I was able to fix that with some hot glue later, and I put the boots on. So off stream, since I'm not in a ventilated area in here, I primed the boots and the gloves, and we were off to the races. Now I went back and forth on if I was going to use the existing body, but it had no butterfly joints. It was a little, it's a slightly older Mezco figure. So some of the articulation is a bit limited, and it has this neck peg. And I went back and forth on, man, I could get a neck peg, replace it, and then use a different head sculpt and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to do that. So what I ended up doing is I found a Marvel Legends Forge figure. I'm sorry, Forge. I love Forge. Forge is an awesome character, but his body was like perfect for this. Well, it wasn't actually, but what it would do is it would accomplish increasing the size profile of the Punisher. It'll make him look a little bulkier, but he was still kind of like slim and stuff. And it should work really well for replacing the top half of the body. I left the legs alone, and I think that turned out pretty well. But what I ended up having to do was shave down a lot of the sides of the body and just kind of try to keep the shape of a torso. That way it could work. And to be honest, it worked out really well, except I probably could have shaved off a little from the sides a bit. So maybe I'll go back one day and do that, but I didn't end up doing that here. On top of that, this Forge figure had some cool looking gloves. I thought they would work great for the white gloves that I was going for this for the OG costume. So that was perfect for me to use this forge figure. Plus I'm learning how to use the Dremel to kind of make things do what I want them to do. And it's working out pretty well, although I did almost set things on fire at one point.
Oh yeah, dude.
Once I replaced the body in there, I could have used the process better, but there's that old trick with the hot glue where you can kind of make a makeshift peg out of it. I forgot to use some lotion or some kind of lubricant inside of it to make it a perfect, but it worked out really well. I mean, how much does the Punisher articulate anyways, right? Maybe a lot. I don't know.
Blub, 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 blub.
But it works for me. So once I got the new body in, I went to work and did a simple, basic ladder stitch. Tied the knot, all good to go. What's good about this body, it also has a head peg on it. That ended up working perfectly. For the head sculpt, John Barenthal is really cool, and there actually happened to be like a random, like really nice John Barenthal head sculpt in the box. So if I want to switch it up, I can easily use that. But I really love the Jim Lee, classic Jim Lee look of Punisher. So I went with the head sculpt from Tony, I think it's Tony Mize. I hope I'm not butchering that too much, but the head sculpt is amazing. It's a little pricey, too pricey in my opinion, but I bought it anyways, especially for the content here. And I got it and it came in and I was excited to paint it. Again, I'm still new to this and I'm new to painting and everything. But I thought that it would be perfect for it, especially the head sculpt with the headband. Then it was time to paint the head sculpt. Now this was the most challenging part. I'm still new, trying to get better at it and stuff like that. But what I decided to do was use a flesh tone primer. Again, I had the prime off stream. Sorry, I don't have any footage of that. But that ended up working out perfectly. I actually went ahead and put a matte coat on it. That way, when I go and add details later, they'll kind of blend in a little bit better. A trick I learned from my friend Flashpoint Customs on Instagram. Then it was time to add details. This was my first time doing stubbly facial hair onto a head sculpt, but it turned out okay, and I was so proud of myself after doing this. Stipple, 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 stipple. I think it turned out really well. I think I could do better in the future, but I was really, really over the moon on how this turned out. That looks insane. Look at that. Oh my God. I'm still trying to get better at eyes, but like I said, I'm still learning. And this is a far cry from where I started last year. And now we're done. One last little touch. I got the Ramen Toys battle van. I got a rack for some weapons. And now it's time for some photography. But before we get into that, take a second to maybe subscribe. Go follow me on Twitch. I make these customs live on stream and it's really fun. And the community is really, really active over there. So come check it out. And now, thanks for watching. Let's see the final product.